if this will work, I know we had a little bit of a stream bug last time, but we are back. It is myself, Patrick Coleman, aka Ruckus, alongside B23. We are here on 5 for the Elite World Championship here at Monza. We're about halfway through our 15-minute qualifier. So, we did have a bit of a stream bug there, and we did reset it, so everything should be hunky-dory. We'll just go ahead and see here, although the quality isn't exactly great. Although that could just be my phone. Oh, never mind, there it is. It's back to normal. I just adjusted the setting on my phone and it popped up normal. So, it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I'm checking too. I'll be periodically checking this out, making sure it's all good.
Yeah, so we'll be here checking things out, making sure everything is good. But if you guys do notice anything, feel free to let us know in the chat and we will look to reset it. Yeah, so there we go. It just took a reset. We were joking a bit during our very brief intermission that we were praying that this wasn't Kyoto 2.0, which it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. The thing is that even top level broadcasts, right? Like broadcasts have hundreds and thousands of dollars just pretty much dumped into it. I mean, look at the AMR 26 reveal stream that happened before the F1 season.
Oh, yeah.
That stream had every bug known to man, and I still prefer what we do here at GPL, but their production value is going to be way higher than ours.
A Mariners game, baseball, apparently the stream, the televised broadcast was just like all messed up. And so, it does happen.
I had a friend of mine who
Hopefully we
actually
can
went
just
to
say
that
it's
game.
YouTube's fault. Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah, a friend of mine's a really big baseball fan, so he actually ended up going to that game. So, it'll be interesting to see how these drivers do. We'll see if any of these drivers can hit a home run in terms of points scored. I had to throw a little bit of a baseball pun in there.
That was a good one. Yeah, that was a good one.
But it is good to be back with the Super Formulas. As we both know, I love these cars, love this series, and it is so much fun just seeing how these drivers are going to do. Nuko currently on pole position with about 5.5 minutes to go. Already a massive step up from the rest of the field. He is 7/10 clear of anybody at this stage. So I wonder if Nuko, and this is going to be a crazy sentence to say, but what if Nuko can actually get his first win of the season here? It's weird that he doesn't already have one. It feels like he should.
It definitely does. It's maybe a little bit of luck, maybe just circumstance that he's found himself on the back foot in these opening 4 rounds so far, but we know he's more than capable. And from what I've been hearing, the whispers in the practice session before I joined up here in commentary was that Nuko was seemingly setting the pace of the field in practice with some really good lap times. And that was when they were just in practice spec. And I mean, these lap times are electric.
Yeah, so he is definitely going to really try to make a charge up here. He is currently only 4th in the Drivers' Championship at the moment. He's going to really try to take it to his good friend and old rival Whiteout, who is currently the only multiple-time race winner this season in GPL, at least for WEC. I know MayJP has done the same feat in SWT, but here in WC, Whiteout is the only multi-time winner. It has pretty much just been and even though we talked a lot about Foxhound Speed Group and how strong that team was going to be, it's pretty much always just been a Acura and Exo season so far, being the only 2 teams who have been able to take a win here so far in WEC. I mean, that could very well change here tonight. It almost happened in Dragon Trail, but Whiteout got a very good run at the end of our season opener to take that position away. So, I mean, you know how it is, B23. You've been through this rodeo quite a few times. Anything can happen in motorsport as we're down to the couple final minutes.
Oh yeah, no doubt of that. And and King goes off into the gravel just after the second chicane, a little uncharacteristic there as well. But Yeah, very surprised actually to see that Viper doesn't have a race win yet. I would have thought going into the season that Viper and Whiteout probably the two main protagonists for that drivers' championship. But yeah, it just hasn't quite panned out that way. And even though pace is generally the main factor you look at in determining who's going to win races, it is not the only factor. And there's a lot of things that can happen during a race distance, and we've seen plenty of that so far this season. Looking forward to seeing plenty more shenanigans as well up and down the grid. But oh, that was King No Skill that I was seeing. I thought I was confused King and Whiteout. They do have the same car. But when you noticed Whiteout having his moment there at Ascari, something that I was noticing, not only is the tailwind into Ascari very suboptimal for having, that Whiteout is going very, very aggressive with his aero balance, and it makes it very easy. I mean, even in the best of times and the best of conditions, that's a hard chicane to keep the rear end planted as you use that inner curb. But something tells me Whiteout in particular is a little more comfortable going with the aggressive side of things on his aero balance.
Yeah, I mean, we do know that Nuko is kind of like in a sense, he's kind of like the Max Verstappen of GPL, where he just loves a really pointy car. And he loves the setup to pretty much be on the ragged edge, and his teammates usually have a bit of a trickier time getting to grips with a car that's just so on the nose and so tricky to navigate with. As we've seen so far, it's been a bit of a tricky start for Rogue. He'll be looking to turn his fortunes around here. Rogue is currently P14 in the standings. He's got 8 points to his name, 1 point behind Dennis, funny enough. Dennis being the reserve driver for LFO. But yeah, we are seeing some pretty solid laps here so far. I was actually just going to say Illusion was not a great spot, but then as soon as I thought entered my mind, he jumps up into P4. So he's only about 12 hundredths of a second away from King in P3. Actually pretty cool stuff here from Whiteout, King, Illusion, and then you just got Nuko, who's like almost 7/10 ahead. Oh, that I'm not gonna make any. I'm not gonna verbalize it, but just look at the actual gap between Nuko and Whiteout. The funny number has spawned in.
Oh,
we can't get away from it, man.
Oh my goodness! And you know something too? I thought you were back in peak commentator form with that baseball pun segue, but you came a long way from last week where you were 6-7 and with the best of them.
In my defense, I was sick, so in my defense last week.
Your mind was not firing on all cylinders.
It was not.
I'll give you that.
And also,
plus you were
I was commentating at 5 a.m. earlier too.
So we can blame him for that too.
Yeah, I mean, I am partly innocent. Not fully innocent, just partly. About maybe 25%.
That works, that's good enough.
But anywho, it is back to qualifying here. The final laps are in play.
Yeah, final laps.
Nuko on pole position right now. Can Whiteout go ahead and white out the front row and take pole position to line himself up for win number 3 here of the season? It'll be tricky, but he's got to make his way through the famous Parabolica. Oh, he goes wide though, so I don't know if he'll get it. He had a snap there, so I don't think this will be it. He might make an improvement.
Oh, that's a time killer.
He improves it, but he does not improve his position. King will not improve. Illusion, though, will he improve? Will he go ahead and put Axel up into fight? He does! Up into P2 behind his old championship rival. And that is a very good start there. What about Alex? Can Alex trouble the front 2 rows here? He's going to make his way across the line. He only needs 0.04 of a second of an improvement. He doesn't improve nearly at all. That is a 9-second deficit.
10 second. Yeah. We thought he was on for one. No, but that's a really good time from Nuko. Only driver to break into the 24s. And, I mean, as close as Whiteout and Illusion could get, the gap was still over 0.3 of a second. It's a pretty significant margin when you're talking about these guys.
Exactly that. So we're going to go ahead and run through your qualifying order here. Nuko taking pole position ahead of Illusion, Whiteout King, Alex, Adaptive Inc. A really good result for Dennis, qualifying P7 here today, ahead of Yuki, aka Pixel. And then we got May JP, Whiplash. Not a great start here for the Foxhound Speed Group drivers. Dakadono, Rogue, and Tallman rounding out the field here tonight. So, 13 cars on the grid, almost a full lineup. But we will see how things are going to go from here. Qualifying's about getting that one perfect lap in, but we got 44 of them here to decide who is going to win. No sprints, just full-on race and strategy. Now, I think we're going to see a hard to medium. I'm kidding, no, we're not going to see a hard tire at all. It's going to be soft and mediums as per usual here. Maybe some drivers will probably stick to mediums only, and that is the beauty of the Grand Prestige League, is that your only requirement is that you just have to have racing tires, period. Doesn't matter if you run, you can do the race entirely on softs, you can do the race entirely on mediums, entirely on hards, entirely on intermediates, wets, although I don't know why you use the latter two on this track, because rain doesn't exist here in Italy apparently, according to Gran Turismo logic. But with all that being said and done, and open tuning, you usually don't get either of those, let alone one of them.
Yeah, and I always enjoy a good sprint weekend, but it does kind of take away the strategy options, and I am a sucker for good strategy, and so strategy will be back in full force around here, Monza. And as far as the tire wear, I haven't done too much testing on the tires myself yet, but what I have seen is the soft tires are a lot more viable here than they have been in previous circuits. I don't know if they'll be used here necessarily, but they do last quite a bit longer than on other tracks. So far this season, the soft hasn't really been a contender at all. It's been all about the mediums. Just because the softs don't last as long as they need to get a viable amount of running with them to make up for the inevitable pit stop you'll have to take. The benefit just doesn't add up quite enough, but here that might just, although the race distance is so much longer, that also might bring the soft tire back out of play, because they might be looking at 2 stops. I'm not exactly sure how long the mediums last either, but I'm assuming they will probably do what they normally have been doing with some long runs on the medium. Ideally, it generally just seems to be the best bang for your buck as far as the pace and distance ratio you can get with that one.
I feel like the hard tire would be popular if it was a faster tire, because let's face it.
Yeah, even just a little bit.
I mean, even when you look at the Formula 1 races here at Monza, they're usually a one-stop. You usually can get away with a one-stop here around Monza in F1. You could just run medium and hard, and then that's pretty much your day done and dusted, because this is not a high degradation track compared to, I wouldn't say Spa is a particular high deg either, but the two we visited before that with Watkins Glen and Spain, the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya, yeah, those are tire shredders of racing circuits. But Spa, not so much. This track, not so much either. So
yeah,
you can
the only corner that's really going to light up the tires here is probably Parabolica. When you nail it, you're at full limit of adhesion on those tires, and it really can burn them up if you take too much momentum in. But other than that, even Curva Grande is very light. It's almost like a straight line, despite it being a very large corner, as its name suggests.
Yeah, exactly that. We're just flipping through some of the drivers as they get a bit of an extra warm-up in before we go ahead and kick off the Grand Prix. It'll be 44 laps here, so no sprint shenanigans. Although we do love a sprint, we have another one later on this season. Just taking a look at the rest of the calendar while we're actually talking about drivers as they're currently doing some extra free practice here. It is a brand new circuit for the first time in Grand Prestige League history. We are heading to Canada. We're heading to the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal, Canada. So that should be a fun one. Brand new circuit to Gran Turismo 7, and we are using it live in Super Formula. and that track is going to be fun. I'm going to be really looking forward to that circuit. So, and then we do have...
It's a tough one to drive.
It is,
very tough to drive, yeah.
It's got a lot of, at least for me, it's got a lot of deceptive braking points as well. Like, braking points are sooner than they look like they should be.
That's been my problem as well. Very hard to tell where you even are, because it all kind of looks very samey as you're approaching the corners, but then they're not at all the same.
Yeah, so it's an interesting one to say the least. I'm looking forward to seeing how the drivers navigate it, because like as far as I know, it hasn't really circulated many leagues at the moment. I mean, if you compete in any F1 leagues, you'll probably have a run into Canada at some point. As Nuko is giving the briefing, B23 is in charge of the red flags. And then also just the usual, no overtake allowed before lap 1. Otherwise, that is pretty much a slam dunk penalty. We've already seen it kick in earlier on this season. Heavy damage, so unlike Sprint World Tour, if you do damage your car and you wait 30 seconds, you're still gonna have damage. So you gotta come into the pits and get it fixed. The time of the red flag being called will pretty much just exactly be whenever, if we see a massive accident in turn 1, which it is Monza, so it is definitely possible that we see the first red flag of the season at Monza. With that being said, otherwise, racing is good as always. And then it'll be, and actually, funny enough, next week, or not next week, because we're going to be back here with SWT, but 2 rounds from now, we have the final sprint of the season at Trial Mountain Reverse. So, we got a pretty stacked calendar ahead. Just going to go over the remainder of the calendar while everybody is still getting ready to race here at Monza.
Now they're starting up.
Yeah, we're about to go to get into it. Alright, we are here at round number 5 out of 10. We are at the last race of the first half of the season. Nuko does lead the field to green. And here we go. You can hear those inline fours are revving up here. And 3, 2, 1, and it is lights out and away we go here at Monza. A good getaway there from Nuko, but here comes that turn 1. Lucian actually has a better launch. He's got the inside coming into Prima Variante. But he brakes early just to avoid any potential risk. Nuko does retake the lead. And I have good news. Take a look through the field. No damage coming through turn 1. The red flag will be spared for now. Lucian, though, is not sparing. Lucian's not sparing Nuko any breathing room here.
Whoa. Penalty.
That is, we'll see. But I think they got away with it.
He might have, just because, boy, very lucky to get away with it. It wouldn't have been his fault either, because he would have gotten scooched off the corner there. But yeah, that's good. Holy moly. Going 3 wide into there is crazy. Nuko not happy. Yeah, definitely something going to be going to the steward's room, but man, probably the most impressive thing I've seen all season is a whole field of cars going through turn 1 in Monza without a red flag. I was impressed enough as is, there not being a red flag in either class all season long. That's a testament to the skill level of these drivers, and now to do it at Monza is actually insane. For those of you who've driven here, you know how crazy that is.
It's like why I absolutely hate this track. In terms of actually driving on it, I love commentating on it. You see some good stuff, like King trying to get one around Nuko, and he's gonna send it up the inside of Prima Variante, and that is a move up for King. And we have 2 Germans in the top 3, and it is an XO1-2 still. Nuko not really enjoying the active race itself. He doesn't have any damage though, so he's just falling back he's just falling back.
A bit of a Kimi Antonelli type of a start there. Issues, Alex
King,
in P3 now.
Whiteout.
Yeah, Alex P3, Whiteout didn't look like he had a great start either, as he was in P5, but now up to P4 and chasing Alex in P3. It looked like Alex might have went off. There might have been contact. Oh, and now he's wiggling all over the place in the exit.
I think, I know camera caught the last bit of it, but I think Alex might have had a bit of a connectivity spike, which put him into King, which sent King way back down the order to 8th. Now under pressure from Yuki. The high caliber driver is going to just glide on by coming into Ascari. King going to try the retake, trying one way, trying another. He does have front wing damage, which...
Nuko in P2.
Not the worst outcome on this track, because this is probably the least downforce intensive track on the calendar. But that's still not going to be ideal, especially coming through Parabolica.
Exactly, and if you're going to use a wing on this track, it's going to be the front wing. And he goes straight into the pits, as well as May JP. Does May JP have... Oh wait, no, maybe I'm tripping. On my screen it looked like he had a car following him in the pits too, but apparently not.
Yeah, so Alex and King definitely did come together at some point. But soft tire's going off, and the front wing is getting repaired.
So, Rogue had a bit of an issue going through the first chicane. And now he's having even more of one. He tried to cut the first chicane and then reset him in the beginning of the chicane. Then he tried to power through and under acceleration spun off into the grass there. Unfortunate stuff for Rogue, who's not having the best of seasons so far.
Okay, so I'm sorry, Rogue, I love you. However, seeing your car bunny hop over one of the signs is extremely funny to me.
Oh, it did.
Yeah, I caught it on the replay
that is
too.
A Gran Turismo classic.
The first time I saw that was actually when I was commentating for Hammer's Racing Community, and they were doing a endurance series, a 90-minute endurance race around the streets of Willow. So if you're familiar with that track, they were doing it in
that's rough.
In the KTM's, and I saw that exact same thing happen where a car got stuck on one of the little brake markers and just bounced. And that's exactly what happened to Rogue there. We'll pull it up on the replay again. As we'll try to get it from a different angle here. So here's the reset, right? And then he tries to power it out. Dunkin' Dono good to evade it, and then just boing.
I've only seen that a few times, but the first time I saw that I was doing commentary a few seasons back, 2 or 3 for GPL. It was at Grand Valley, and yeah, when I saw that I lost it, because it's such a Mario straight up and down weird looking jump.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
This order, every time I look at the grid, go up and down the grid, the order has completely shuffled, like every time. Everyone's in a different spot to where they were.
I mean, Dennis
I saw May JP was up, now he's down. Dennis was down, now he's up. Whiteout kind of just somewhere in the middle the whole time. Nuko, having a really poor start, finds himself in a great position. Only 4 seconds behind the race leader, who had absolutely no incidents. Building a big gap as the race leader is probably the easiest thing to do when you're on this track in particular, but holding that gap, managing it from here is going to be difficult, especially when Illusion now is one of the only drivers on the grid using the soft tire. We also have Tall Man on the soft tire, and we have Dennis on the soft tire, and those are the only 3 drivers on the grid using the soft, and so they are going to get a little bit of usage this race, but how long will they last is the question. He's going to need to build up more of a gap to Nuko if he wants his strategy to work out with these tires. And it does look like he does have pace on Nuko at the moment, luckily for him. Those medium tires just now probably hitting their good temperature window.
King was also on the soft tire before his incident, and then he switched up to the mediums. But yeah, so it'll be interesting because we know the soft tires are pretty popular here in Super Formula. I mean, the hard tires, you're really only going to see them at like super high tire deg circuits like Barcelona and Watkins. But around here in Monza, it's a very low deg circuit, probably one of the lowest deg circuits that we're going to have. I'll be curious to see on what spectrum CVG is when it comes to the tire wear around that track, because I mean, there's not a lot of data going into it because it is one of the newest tracks in the game alongside Yas Marina. So those would be some interesting ones to come to later on this season, as Whiteout is trying to close in the gap to Alex behind, and Whiteout is going to try here. A lot of drivers are using a good amount of the runoff in Parabolica. That is one of the spots that would normally net you a penalty, but it's like a penalty blind spot in that particular corner.
Yeah, these drivers understand the monitoring zones of the track limits here in Gran Turismo very well, as in Parabolica through the exit, if you go wide early on in the corner, it will give you a track limit penalty, but there's a certain point in the corner where for some reason it just stops monitoring that track limit and you can go wide.
Whiteout's got a 1 second penalty. He's fighting Alex now for P3.
And it's a 1 second.
Yeah, so he must have got hit with 2 of them. I'll see if I can grab a replay. I think it's a bit too far back. Yeah, he's already had that.
So if it's a 1 second penalty, I think it was probably at Ascari, because it's such a high speed entry that if you clip that corner and go slightly over track limits, it'll give you a 1 second instead of the traditional half a second, just because the game perceives you gaining such a high advantage from doing so, because you're carrying so much speed, even though it's actually a very small little infringement that doesn't net you any time really.
You actually lose time.
And there he serves it, and there goes Alex back up into the podium paying position, and now he's under pressure. Looks like getting passed from Viper as well, and he does make that move stick into the entry of Parabolica. And as you can see exactly where they decide to go slightly wide there, that's these guys got the monitoring zones very down.
Yeah, and it's experience too, because a lot of the drivers have been here for multiple seasons. Some have taken a bit of a hiatus, and some drivers haven't been here in a while. But other drivers, they know the ins and outs, and they've also raced this in other series as well. Some drivers have done endurance races around this track, GT races around this track. There's like retro Formula cars. I know we did the GPL 250 around this track a couple of months ago. Actually, that was back in 2025. We actually did that, as Adaptive Inc. is going to continue to make his way through the circuit, and he's going to go ahead and just try to continue. And Whiteout has had a bit of an up and down race, and Dennis is spun.
Oh, there goes Dennis.
Dennis is spun around, touching a little bit of grass on the exit of the second Lesmo, and that front wing has definitely seen better days.
Oh, that was a big hit too. I wonder what happened. I think he just went a little bit wide in the exit of that Lesmo there, and that is one that, if you go just a little, that is one that it really baits you into spinning. It's kind of like Spa, how it has those little, just outside the curb, there's this green patch of some sort of different material. I don't know what that material is. It feels like plastic though, because it is so slippery. And that's right where you're picking up acceleration too, so it will absolutely spin you out. And there goes Dennis into the pits to repair his front wing, assuming he will shed the soft tires, as those are also about 50% worn, on his worst tire being that front left.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not as bad as like the front left would be in, say, Barcelona, where that thing would just be gone in like the span of like 2 laps if you were running on the soft tire. So right now Whiteout did get back past the Viper, so they'll be trying to fight it out for P3. A bit of a snap there for Whiplash just in the background, as he'll try to chase down his teammate. Yeah, I mean, this has been a really tough weekend for Foxhound Speed Group. I mean, they were one of the
Alex.
Oh, yep. Oh, the ghosting just saved Whiplash there. Alex almost just becoming a Beyblade into his rival, his arch nemesis, if you will. And that would have been interesting, to say the least. There's other words I can think of. He
might not have been trying to get out of his way necessarily, but luckily for Whiplash, the ghosting was in effect there for a moment.
Indeed. As now we're going to just take a look, check in with some other drivers. Darkadono and Tallman, 2 teammates in Sprint War Tour on opposite sides now, racing here in WEC, as we are on lap 8 out of 44 here on the day.
And Alex in the pits.
Yeah, I mean, Alex probably had a ludicrous amount of damage, so...
He was front wing damage.
Ah. I figured he would have had more than that, but I mean, still, it's heavy damage here, so your front wing ain't going to fix itself. We, unfortunately, WEC didn't have the budget to install those nano machine repair bots that Sprint World Tour has, so as Dennis does make the move into P11, he is also just pitted in on a set of fresh mediums. Alex is on the softs, though, so he's going to really try to be punchy here at this stage of the race. He's going to really try to fight his way back up the field to try to get close to his teammate of Lucian, who Lucian does have a 6.8 second gap to Nuko behind. Nuko has a 3 second gap to Whiteout. And I know I was talking about Foxhound not having the greatest of starts to the weekend, but just in the nature of just avoiding incidents, they've just moved up the order. So they're pretty much right now the third best team on the track. I'd even argue maybe even the second best team, because right now, I think just mathematically they would score almost, if not the most amount of points from this, just because of their consistency in finishing. Lucian's in the front, but Alex is down to P12, and then King is all the way down to P8 from Whiteout's P3, and I mean, Rogue is all the way down in last while Nuko's in second. So in terms of just being close to your teammate, Foxhound has definitely got it in spades here, even though it's been a tough start for them here at Monza.
Yeah, so they are, I don't know the math off top, but they would be probably scoring the most constructors points if it finishes as it does here, although a win is worth quite a bit with this point system, so that would help cushion the blow for EXO if Illusion can hold on to that position there.
Yeah, exactly, and we'll just see how it happens. I mean, we saw that it really does not take much for you to spin out at any given point on the track. I mean, we've seen it from numerous drivers in quali and in the race itself. Just touching a little bit of grass on the circuit can really just throw your car into a brutal spin, as Viper is going to try to close in the gap now. Let's take a look at some overtake usage on the track right now. Lucian's got a bunch of it, same with Nuko. Whiteout's used a ton, so Whiteout's not exactly in the greatest spot for that. Viper also has used over half of it. Whiplash hasn't touched hardly any of his. But you go down the field, Yuki's used quite a bit. MayJP's looking pretty good on that front. King is better than some, but worse than others. Darkadono hasn't touched his at all. Alex has used quite a bit. Dennis looking pretty good. Rogue is just now beginning to use some. Tallman has used the majority of his. So, I mean, overtake management is going to be pretty useful on this track, just considering that it's probably one of the best ways you can make some good overtakes on this track, as we are a quarter of the way through the race here at Monza.
There goes Alex on Ducky. Alex pushing Ducky all the way through the chicane now on the overtake a little bit to make the move.
He's going to try to make the move, but will it stick is going to be the question. Going to send it around Curva Grande, but coming up into second of Variante. Alex, he's got the move. Done and done. Nice and clean. At least that part was. As the drivers continue to make their way through the Temple of Speed here. The guys are pretty much spread out pretty nicely, so there aren't going to be many battles here. So we're kind of more into the strategy phase of the race here. I mean, as we've noticed here this season, the races do kind of tend to have 3 separate parts. It gets really spicy at the beginning and then mellows out towards like the middle part of it to kind of be more of the strategy part, and then it all comes to a head at the end. So we're pretty much firmly in that strategy sector of the race.
Yeah, and this is where a race often gets exciting for someone like me, where you can add up these gaps and try to kind of predict based on the pace that they're showing and the rate that their tires are wearing when they're going to have to pit, and if by the end of the race those differences in strategies are going to converge, and oftentimes they do end up converging right towards the end of the race, where you see the two contenders in a strategic battle kind of close the gap and end up coming together, then have to decide on track how it ends up concluding. But here we do got pretty stable gaps, although not huge gaps, still within the margin of catching a mistake. Illusion, though, very, very worn front left tire, only got about 10% left on that, so he's going to think about pitting as he's going around Parabolica. We'll see if it's this lap or if he's going to extend even more. He is indeed coming in this lap, so there is that strategic battle at play, as you say. And now Nuko, of course, staying out as he is on the medium tire. Most of the cars behind are going to be on the medium tire, inheriting a position from Illusion here. What is going to be critical for Illusion now is where he comes out of the pits. Is he going to have to deal with traffic, or does he have clean air? It looks like he is going to have track position over Whiplash, so that's going to help him a lot. Now he's in kind of an undercut phase. Now it's not going to be too effective of an undercut because the guys who are currently on the medium tires still, they're still in pretty good shape, so they're not losing a ton of time to Nuko behind, or I mean to Illusion behind on brand new tires. So we might see Illusion starting to use a bit more overtake in this phase to try to close that theoretical gap, so that by the time the front runners pit, Illusion will have extended his gap ideally.
It is crucial, though, that he did come out ahead of Whiplash, because we know Whiplash has no issue playing the team game, and he will try to hold up Illusion as much as possible. But it was crucial for Illusion to get out ahead of Whiplash to avoid being a victim of that team game, which is perfectly legal, by the way, as long as you don't actually run into your opponent. It is perfectly legal to do that. I mean, we see it all the time, particularly in F1. We do see drivers defending their teammates quite often, and we've seen it here. And he really just needs to keep it clean at this point. That's what he pretty much really needs to do. No spins, no penalties, no damage. Just needs to continue driving, stay consistent, and just hammer in lap after lap after lap after lap if he wants to really try to make this undercut work. And it does kind of help. It would help his case if Whiteout could catch Nuko, or Viper could catch Whiteout, because then when they're battling, that'll slow them down inevitably, just because you're not going to go as fast while you're trying to actively defend your position from someone behind. So this could really, depending on how these front three behave, this could really benefit Illusion quite a bit. But if Illusion makes a mistake, then that undercut is going to be all for nothing at the moment. But take a look through the rest of the field. No real battles happening, except it is going to be round 2 of the Germans going at it. King versus Alex. Spectre Acura Racing versus Exodus Motorsports. This could be a fun battle to spectate. We'll see who can go ahead and get the moves done, but I think in general it is going to be it'll be a tough one, because Alex is on softs, King is on mediums, but King's mediums are a bit older, I think, than the softs. I mean, the softs are wearing out a bit more, but not a noticeable margin between the two, as they both are trying to catch the high caliber of May JP, the most recent winner in the Sprint World Tour, now under pressure from 2 German veterans of GPL.
Yeah, it's a tough position to be in too, especially I know May JP wasn't fully happy with the way his car was feeling heading into this race. Of course, he has another week of practice before he gets to try again in SWT, but we'll see how much defense he can put up, as now we got King using some overtake to close the gap. Ideally for King, he catches May JP before Alex catches him, because that'll just make it even harder for Alex to then clear May JP and get him. So that'll give King a big advantage if he can make a move quickly here on May JP. And he's on the overtake, so he knows what time it is.
It is indeed hammer time. Going on board now. We're going to try to send it in. Contact between the two.
Oh, my goodness.
Contact, and Alex is going to be right there.
Now they're all bunched up.
He smells blood in the water, and King is going to try to send it up the inside. Going through the Lesmos. Going side by side through the Lesmos is usually not advisable, but King gets it done. That is a
That'll probably give Alex a good run too. And it does,
Alex,
yeah.
Yeah, so him and Alex just using the overtake to get past May JP. And that is May JP down 2 positions. But, I mean, let's just get a look at that battle going through the Lesmo. So, coming through the second of Ariante, a little bit of contact there between King and May JP. And then they're side by side going through the first Lesmo. And then they come up to the second one. King's got the inside line, and he just makes it through. Oh, a bit of bumping there, actually. Additional bumping from Alex and May JP. So that gives Alex the position. Surprisingly, no damage on either machine, which is nice. It's a pleasant surprise, but with how much, you know, they were getting their elbows out, how much paint they were probably trading, I would have expected
That's
at least
some rough racing.
somebody to have a little bit of wing damage. I know the old adage of rubbing is racing, but it can also send you straight to the pits.
Yeah, especially in these Formula cars. Rubbing is not as much racing in a Formula car as it is in other cars. I'll definitely say that much. And here comes Alex getting really close going into that second chicane there, but not quite close enough to fancy himself a move. But I will say, May JP put up a pretty good fight there, but just on the back foot. It did seem like an inevitability, these two cars now ahead of him with quite a bit of pace, kind of out of position in fact, so it was kind of expected that they would make that move sooner or later in some way or another, but kind of getting bullied around and ended up losing 2 positions as a result of being on the outside of that Lesmo, but put up good defense in the first couple parts of the track there. And now King looks like he is using his overtake in all the right places to keep Alex just outside of the most effective slipstream range when they're on these straights. And that is a thing too, as you were mentioning when you brought up the overtake management, is there's very specific places on most tracks where you get the most out of using that overtake, and so you'll only want to use it kind of in those certain places where it's the most effective. Monza, of course, lots of straight lines, and straight lines are where you get the most out of the overtakes, so we're seeing it mostly in the same spots, just on those straights, and if both people are deploying it, then it nullifies, and there's no advantage for either one. And, well, Alex in a good position this time.
Ooh, there he goes, and he gets that move done. About as easy as you'd like it for Alex. He is setting a purple sector through Sector 1. Fastest lap still belongs to Illusion with a 1:27.8. That is the fastest lap of the Grand Prix so far. Just take a look up at the front. The gaps are pretty much stabilized between our top drivers. Illusion not making as much progress as he would have liked. He is still about 3 seconds back from the top 3 at the moment, but he did already make his pit stop, and these other guys should be making their pit stops probably within the next 5 laps or so. So this should be, Illusion should be able to close in that gap a little bit. He does have a relatively clear track ahead of him, not close enough to really be into any of the dirty air as it sits. So
right.
It should be a pretty straightforward affair. Alex is pulling away from King now. About over a second gap between the two has formed. As now we're going to just see no more battles happening at the moment. But I think we could see some here in the nearish future. Dennis on
Nuko with a 1 second penalty.
On who?
1 second penalty when the gap is only 2.2 to Whiteout is actually quite a big deal. Now he's all over that overtake to try to recover some of that pace.
Yeah,
this is going to bring Whiteout right into the fight for the lead.
Yeah, that's not ideal in the slightest.
Illusion making up good ground too.
Yeah,
his strategy is working very well.
He must have heard me talking smack about him not catching up as much, and now he's ready.
Yeah, now he's closing that gap.
He caught in extremely compared to the others. Nuko now within a second of Whiteout. Whiteout looking to take win number 3 of the season. We're not quite halfway through the race yet, but I mean, these passes are going to matter, because then he'll be the first one into the pits unless he goes for a undercut himself. But he's still got some pretty good timers, so I don't foresee that happening anytime soon between these guys. But hey, we have seen crazy things happen And actually, not too far off between them is that Mr. Adaptive Inc., aka Viper. He's not too far off. So, I mean, he can go ahead and make some ground as well, but he's got to be real careful because he's going to blink, and Illusion's going to be all in the rear mirrors of the Fox Speed Group machine.
Illusion's still closing. He's closing really quickly now. I think he really did hear you, because it was about sitting around 4 seconds for quite a while there, and then all of a sudden it's just closing quick. And I don't even think he's using that much overtake to get it done either. Viper actually using overtake himself and having a bit less. Now this is a game of chicken too between these top three as far as who's going to pit first, because they know Illusion behind already has done so. They will give up net position back to Illusion whenever they do pit.
Yeah, exactly. As we see now, the blue flags are out. That's for Tall Man, the Project Zero Porsche driver, because he is going to be being approached by our front three runners, which traffic can really play a factor in this one. There are some good places to overtake, and usually 9 times out of 10, Tall Man is a good sport about letting these front runners do their thing. So I don't think this is going to be an issue. Yeah, he just pulls off to the side, rides the fifth gear.
He's a very professional dude about this stuff. He's going to do the right thing every time.
Yeah, and he knows he's not really fighting these guys for a championship. He's really just preparing himself for SWT, just getting... Because for him and a lot of the other SWT guys, this is really just an extra practice session. As JP and Dennis, side by side, coming down the main straight.
Speaking of SWT here.
Yeah, the two rivals in SWT. Dennis trying to make the move stick on the JP. Is he going to be able to get it? JP is going to get the inside. Is it going to be a switchback? Nope, not this time around. JP, even though he's on the older tires, does get the position off of Dennis. And it is a promotion up to PA for the young Brit. But
Dennis on the OT.
Greek driver looking to make some moves here. Trying to put some elbow grease into the position. He's going to fight it out. Going to get elbows out. A little bit of contact. He does let him sit. But Whiplash just shows up out of nowhere. And
yeah, he just spawned in.
He just spawned in. Yeah, it caused a little bit of chaos.
It was almost startled me. I really didn't see him. The Whiplash jump scare now fighting for position as well.
Whiplash, though, is on a brand new set of soft tires, so this should be pretty straightforward for the American. I mean, he'll probably get
Viper in.
So Viper, he's into the pits. We'll see if his teammate can get the move done on to JP, burning a little bit of overtake. I think Whiplash actually has the best overtake status out of everybody right now, so he's got overtake to play with. We're almost at the halfway stage. Sending it up the inside of Parabolica, JP having to run a bit wide, and that is going to be Whiplash up in the P8 on a brand new
JP's going to fight this back.
Softs. But he is, exactly that. They're going to fight it. Are we going to see 3-1 into 2-1? Nope, they know better than that. They're going to tuck and stick of our line. Dennis, though, is going to try to get a move done. Is he going to get two for the brakes? One, late on the brakes!
Oh, my goodness.
That's argy-bargy. But Dennis does get shuffled out, and we exit turn 1 the same way we entered turn 1, despite how crazy things were looking there.
JP back in the front of these guys. Holy moly, this is an excellent battle here. And Whiplash and Dennis behind. Oh, and Dennis is off. So with a little bit of course that'll probably go to the stewards and they'll get a better look out of it, but from what I'm seeing it looked like it initially looked like Whiplash did the old pit maneuver, but I will say Dennis is kind of trying to stick a nose in. I noticed last lap as well on Majay, just keeping the nose right there a little much, like instead of conceding where it might have been wise to live another day. But definitely under some slow-mo reviews from well-trained eyes, we'll get a good reading on what really happened there.
Yeah, it'll go to the stewards for certain. As we see now, Whiplash trying to get past JP, and he's got past. JP, though, we know he's not scared of nobody. JP, really. Ooh. And he's going to use all the runoff and try to get this overtake. And he's got it. Major AP, he has no right to be fighting in this fight. He's got, contact there between him and Whiplash though. He's got much older tires, an inferior compound in terms of just pure pace. Whiplash is on brand new softs, but this is excellent stuff from the rookie.
Yeah, I didn't even notice the tire difference. That is actually like the biggest tire difference you could possibly have.
Yeah,
Whiplash
exactly.
does see when Whiplash clears in a part of the track where, yeah, I think he's got it now. He's just not going to have the pace on those tires to be able to fight back. But Mage AP was like where he had did get caught up before on the previous couple laps. It's just right in the perfect place to get a slipstream and fight it right back. Excellent stuff from Mage AP today.
Yeah, I mean, he fought it with everything he's got. He'll probably even just honestly opt for the pit stop now, just because it's probably the best course of action for him. As we do hit the halfway point of the race, we're in the second half now. Lucian though, look at that gap, 15 seconds.
Yeah, so the strategy worked really, really well for him so far. And now even if they go and pit onto soft tires, which I'm assuming, no, they all went medium. So basically this is going to be just a matter of Illusion making his medium tires last. If he can, because he will be slow and vulnerable towards the end of the race, but he's built himself up a comfortable enough gap that he's bought himself the ability to manage those tires even better. Now you can take a little bit of time off your lap times. Oh, as he snaps a bit there. But you can take a little bit of time off of your lap times to save the tire a little bit, to ease them in, to make them go the extra 2-3 laps that they normally wouldn't have been able to do at full push.
This is going to be such an interesting one for a strategy. Tall man goes way off there, allowing the cars to doing a little bit of rally racing there for Project Zero. As now Lucian is going to continue on here. Nuko though is going to go ahead and continue to try to chase down Lucian, but he does have a whiteout for company. So these guys are all going to be super punchy and try to get these positions here, because Lucian he's got a very commanding lead on the race so far. On lap 24 out of 44 here. Alex at the pits. Whew! That front left is at 3. That is insane. That is very. I mean, hey, he paid for the old tire. He's gonna use the old tire. He's gonna get some fuel here as well. I wasn't expecting fuel to be a concern, but now he's running on a set of mediums, so he's gonna try to push a little bit more. Fuel is usually something that we don't really see a whole lot of, but Dennis is definitely gonna need a refuel at some point, because looking at his fuel load compared to King's is a night and day difference.
Right, and that was something that was pre-planned ahead of time. Now, I wouldn't give away strategy or anything like that unless he already, but he already took the fuel, so he did say that if he was short shifting, like the entire distance, a little bit of lifting coast and short shifting, that he would still just barely make the race distance with how he has his gearing kind of ratioed out. And so it's probably, if he's one of the only ones taking fuel, it means he's probably got a bit of a shorter gearbox as well. Just revving the gears out a little more burns more fuel. So he did plan on taking, before the race, he knew he was going to take a little bit extra fuel just so he didn't have to worry about lifting and coasting. He could just fully push. Because if you're lifting and coasting and short shifting the whole race distance, you'll probably end up losing more cumulative time than if you're just going to sit in the pits for an extra little second to get a little more fuel. Because it refuels pretty quickly with these settings we have.
And usually you don't even need that much more extra fuel. You don't even need to get a full usually you spend about 2 seconds.
Very small.
Yeah, you can get 2 seconds of fuel and then you're pretty much good for the rest of the race. You never need to it's not like endurance races where you have to go for a full tank of gas next time around. You could just jump in, put a Monster's can worth of gas in it, and then you could just go back out and continue racing, and then you're pretty much good for the remainder of the Grand Prix. So, yeah, like you said, you do refuel very, very quickly, and we do have some of the most efficient refuelers in the world. So I mean, makes NASCAR look like a snail.
We got amazing technology.
Indeed. But here we go. Tall Man is going to allow Whiplash past. He's going to allow his mate Yuki to pass as well. And now they're going to go ahead and try to fight it out. Yuki trying to chase down Whiplash. This would be for a top 5, so this would be a really good result for Yuki, who's had a bit of a tricky season to start things off here in the World Elite Championship. He was with EXO last season, made the switch over to high caliber this season, but it's just been a little trickier for the Japanese driver.
Yeah, and just a little on the back foot too from being out of the country in the beginning of the season, but still making it work a little bit for those opening ones. But now he's settled back in where he usually is racing, and we've seen his form come back too, because in those first few races he just looked a little bit off, but now he's fully back and putting on a really, really good performance. And I race with him too when we practice a lot, and his pace is just so impressive always. He hasn't lost a step at all.
Yeah, but it's also worth noting that it's such a stacked field in WEC that drivers who have been podium finishers and even winners in WEC just didn't quite make the time to qualify for WEC, and they're down in SWT. Flaring Aces is a dang good example. He is a driver who's definitely talented enough to be in WEC. He's been a fixture in WEC, and we were talking about it like towards the tail end of last season in the LMP Master Series, that we were thinking that the Toyota lineup, it's a lineup that hasn't changed in several seasons, and this is the first change that it has had. I mean, at least since I've been here, and I think it's been even longer than that.
Yeah, since I've been here as well, and yeah, that was like the last thing I expected was for that lineup to change. For some lineups you see, they kind of change every season, and other lineups they just stay the same every season. And that was one of those that just stayed the same. But it's because talent, there's so much extra talent coming in, it kind of forced people's hands. People had to make moves, and people were shifted around a little bit.
Yeah, and I mean, we had Dennis come in and make more of a return for Dennis than the actual debut. We had AJP, F16, Tall Man. Those three came in. Those have been pretty much the main rookies of the talking point, or main rookies we've had the talks about this season. It's been those three. AJP already getting race wins. Tall Man, he's gotten close to a podium, but just not quite. F16 got a podium in the LMP Masters Series on the second race in GPL at Fuji Speedway. So, I mean, there's definitely a lot of talent here, and we are seeing the future of GPL, which is insane to me that we're already like, we've been around for long enough now we're actually seeing the next generation of drivers jumping into GPL, because I mean, it's probably going to be some time, but there's going to be a point where, I mean, we just witnessed Boita retiring not too long ago, so, and that's going to potentially happen for some other drivers. It might not be this season, it might be a couple seasons down the line, granted, but, I mean, Nuko's going to retire at some point, Lucian's going to retire at some point, King unretired for this season in particular. Whiteout took a hiatus last season. So, I mean, it's just time for we're at that stage now, which is really awesome when the league has enough longevity where we can actually see that just taking place, and just seeing that.
We'll have a whole careers retiring and unretiring and going through the whole, yeah, because there's a bit of a revolving door with the retirement house lately, and they've also been having an influx of talent shuffling people around at that retirement home. The inside joke in the league Discord is that King No Skill in particular was like running that retirement home.
Yeah, the original Hall of Fame inductee, if you will.
Yeah, and then Whiteout joined him last season. They hung out there, watched the races from there. But Team Retirement Home back on the grid as Spectre Acura Racing, and they're doing a fantastic job so far this season. Oh, tall man off. That might have been on purpose, though. I think it was, in fact.
Yeah, so he could just let his...
Not to make him look bad. That was on purpose. Well, that one might have been on accident, though. He did it a second time.
Just letting
I'll
his
just
best
stop looking at him. I'll stop looking at him. That'll
you are commentator cursing, poor tall man. Before you know it, tall man's going to become short man just because you keep commentator cursing him. Like, you're going to actually make that man lose, like, 5 inches off of his height just because you keep commentator cursing him.
I try to be careful with it because I know my commentary curse is a very strong one, and indeed, I've had instant results too many times.
I mean, if you haven't commentator curse someone, are you really a commentator?
No, exactly. That's like the rite of passage. So once you get that, it's like,
you made it, pretty much.
Yes, he's become a man. He's come of age in commentary.
I was talking to one of my friends from the Aussie scene not too long ago, and they were asking me is it possible to commentate or curse a lobby when you're not even in it? And to that I respond with, yes, it is possible, and you can also commentate or curse a whole lobby, like we saw with the aforementioned Kyoto.
Yeah, and yeah, it's the top commentators that can curse from outside the races and outside the commentary booth. But some do have that skill; they possess the trait.
It's our.
There's a yellow flag somewhere I just saw from watching Illusion. Now, here's the thing: I was just watching Illusion, taking a look at his tires. Now he has about maybe 25% left on his worst tire, of course, being that front left. And I'm curious, the gap now down to 12 seconds, so he's only lost about 3 seconds so far. Nuko's still on brand new mediums by comparison. He's got 14 more laps to go on these tires. Do we think he can make it? Because you can only sacrifice so much time as you're trying to make that distance. But if you end up on red, even if there is like 1-2 laps remaining, if you go all the way red and it's completely zero, the way they kind of reworked the tires in past updates made it so those tires are actually completely undrivable. He could lose way more than that 11-second gap if he were to have it be red right now in one lap.
Well,
so it almost doesn't matter how much of a gap he's built up, because if he wants to win this race, he has to go to the end, because the buffer is less than a pit stop now. So he has to go to the end. But 14 laps on those tires, it's going to be a challenge.
Yeah, but here's the one thing that he can take solace in, is his overtake compared to the other 3 guys that are in the shot of winning this race. I mean, it's a 9-day difference. Illusion's got so much more overtake. So what Illusion could really do is he could take it easy in the corners and just gun it down the straights and just use a good amount of overtake to really kind of improve his gap. That's exactly what he could do here, and it's honestly what I think he should do at this stage, because he's got the overtake advantage by a country mile or country kilometer, depending on what unit of measurement you prefer. But
a country kilometer is... That's funny. I've never heard a country kilometer.
But, I mean, just taking a look at these 3 here, I mean, Nuko, Whiteout, Viper, their overtake is not a good spot at the moment.
Yeah, so I think Illusion is doing exactly what you're saying. That would be the wisest thing to do. Just take it extra easy into those. And yeah, that extra overtake he has. As a result, I saw him use just a little bit just at the end of Parabolica there. Just before the straight, kind of helping to push the gearbox through the middle of that rev range up into the upper ends, just assisting it up there. And yeah, he's really taking good care of his car at this stage, and he's gonna have to, because I am a little nervous if he's gonna make that distance or not. But I have a feeling he will, though. But it'll be close either way. Whiplash now in the pits as well from the soft tire.
Yeah, we'll see. He's probably going to get some fuel as well because his fuel's not looking too great at this stage. Probably a little splash and dash, put a little bit of like monster in it, and then he'll be pretty much good to go. Yeah, oh, not even. Like, they gave him like a little, they gave him like a water cup from McDonald's to just put that sucker in, and that's how much fuel he got, and they're already back out to the racetrack. So brand new set of softs. These will probably take him to the end, although it's going to be a bit of a... He's going to have to manage it because Curva Grande and Parabolic are going to be the two biggest issues when it comes to saving your tires on this circuit. But Lucian has actually really kept that gap stable. Oh, but look at this. A bit of a draft here, a bit of teamwork coming on from the Toyotas. And now Rogue might be in a spot where he can really just try to defend from Nuco's rivals here. So but he can at least be a little bit of a distraction at all else. He can be a bit of a diversion, if you will. Just a little source of extra dirty air that can unsettle the arrow of Whiteout and Viper behind.
Exactly. And when you're a blue flagged car, you don't necessarily want to defend or like really cost them time or battle them or anything like that. But you don't want to help them either if you're, you know, if they're your rival teams that you got to let by. So you're going to kind of try to pick a point in the track to let them by where maybe they can just catch a little gust of dirty air before you let them by. You know, you always try to avoid giving them a slipstream on a straight as well. So if they catch you on a straight, you just get on over. You might as well just brake and hang out for a while, pull up a chair, because you don't want to give them a slipstream. And he did a pretty good job at that. Looked like trying to just work with Nuco only there.
Yeah, so I mean, oh, and Rogue now gets a penalty
as
too.
He grabs a pen. We gotta stop looking at these people back here.
We can't commentate or curse anybody up at the front, but we can certainly do it to anybody like in the mid or the back of the field.
Yeah, and see, these guys are just such good drivers. They've actually built up resistances against our commentary curses, despite their strength.
They got the vaccine against commentators' curses.
Yeah.
As we do see now, Yuki is trying to close in the gap to King, but that 1 second penalty is not going to do him any favors. He will slow down on the straight before Parabolica, and King will be able to kind of just run away with this one a little bit. He will want to chase down Alex, but Alex is on fresher tires and he's got more overtake, so it's going to be a bit easier for Alex to try to hold on to that final spot within the top 5. As we'll take a look. Lucian has not really lost a lot of time here, has he? He's only lost about not even a full second compared to last time when we checked in on him. So...
No, he hasn't lost too much time, but he has lost a little more tire than he would probably want. He's lost about 5% or so since we last checked on him, and lost about 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds off of the gap. He's still not really using that overtake though, so I wonder if he's trying to make a business decision in his head here as to maybe he just kind of takes a bit of a loss and goes, and that's exactly what he did. He goes into the pits because, so he's going to sacrifice the win probably, but based on this, he doesn't believe he can make the distance, I don't think. And so he would probably lose out even more so than if he just sacrifices some positions here and tries to, you know, recover what he can on good tires.
Yeah, we'll see.
And he only comes out
about 3 seconds, about
yeah.
4 seconds. Yeah, so that's not bad at all. He can certainly make that up.
The gap keeps going up. Yeah, the gap keeps going up as he's exiting the pits here. It'll stabilize in like a corner or so. Yeah,
the overtake advantage.
That's going to be... Oh, that's true too. So maybe that's also why he was saving so much of his overtake, probably because he recognized I might not be able to make this race distance, and if I can't, then you're going to want all the overtake you can, because you got to fight through the field now and make up some gap. And 4 seconds is going to be a tall order, but with a very, very light car, nearly quali spec at this point, brand new soft tires, very low fuel levels, and a decent amount of overtake. You got Viper ahead on halfway worn mediums and about a quarter of his overtake remaining. And he's wiggling all over the place as well. Looks like his car is kind of struggling through a Scari. Probably not helped by the dirty air.
I was going to say, he's getting a bit of a snappy tailwind as well. That's going about northwest, about 8.5. Granted, 8.5 isn't terrible. I mean, compared to Spa last week where we were dang near in the 20s. And so that could really, especially with these cars being so aerodynamically sensitive, that tailwind could really throw you off. GT cars and LMP cars aren't affected as much. They're still affected by it, don't get me wrong. They're not immune to it by any stretch, but not as affected by it as these Super Formula cars. Some of the most aerodynamically efficient machines in the entire game, aside from some of the crazy VGTs and the Red Bulls. But with that being said, it would be fun to actually see a Red Bull Championship. I know that's not everybody's favorite car to use on the planet, but didn't Lucian actually compete in a Norwegian Championship where they were using the Red Bull Junior?
Yes. Yeah, I think they might have used both versions, even like alternating. But yeah, Illusion does have a little bit of racing league experience in those Red Bull cars. They do look like a handful. Probably look like they look like alien cars the way they got so much downforce. They just zip through corners like crazy. Yeah, Viper's still snapping through a Scari once again, and the wind has shifted north a little bit, so that will actually help not be as bad into a Scari, and it will help with Parabolica as well. It will make it a little harder on the first chicane going into turn 1 though.
Yeah, actually, Lucian's already caught up. So Lucian's already within a second.
Oh, yes, he has.
And so Lucian is now firing on all cylinders. The Norwegian driver making his way through. He's going to try to get the move done into Prima Variante. He's going to go late on the brakes. And that is as clean as you could have. That is as clean as you could have had it. Very crucial indeed, like you said, B23. And Illusion up into P3. What a move there from the Norwegian driver.
Yeah, because usually when you end up coming up on another car, you got to fight him for position. You expect to lose time in your race, but he actually gained time because he caught him in the perfect spot right at the straight. So he slipstreamed him all the way through. They were both using overtake. So that's even more speed on top of it, and kind of a dive bomb, but it was a very well controlled, good distance dive bomb. That's exactly the kind of dive bomb you want to see, and makes it stick, probably gaining race time as a result too. So now the gap to Whiteout, 2.2 seconds, and coming down quickly. Now under 2 seconds already now.
Wow. I think Lucian
this is dropping like a brick.
I think Lucian might have just pulled a blinder over everybody. And I mean, this man is on a mission. He wants this win. He wants to be a two-time winner here this season. He wants to join that club that only Whiteout is in at the moment. And he wants to put EXO, he wants to give EXO the most team wins here this season, because right now it's 2-2. Comer winning in Barcelona, and then Lucian winning in Watkins. And then now he's going to try to make it a third win here and Monza for this EXO team. And I mean, we're running out of laps for these drivers, but
yeah, that's the main problem. Because Illusion is the man with the car at the moment. He's got the pace and he's got the strategy in his favor. Everything is going for him right now, but the distance remaining is the only thing that is not. And it seems like a good effort as well from Alex to find himself a very quiet race in the final leg of it, to find himself kind of best of the rest position, P5 there. So a decent recovery from having a lot of mix-ups, probably upsetting a couple drivers in the beginning of the race.
The steward's room is probably going to be a bit busy, I would imagine, here in this one. But with all that being said, look at Lucian. Look who he's caught up to now. So this is going to be a dangerous one here between these guys. And we're going to see Whiteout having a bit of a snap through Parabolica. This might just be the chance. This might just be the chance. As the Acura is out of overtake. Lucian going for it. And he's got the position. Can he hold on to it? The answer is yes. Illusion holds on. On lap
And now look at the gap to
39.
Nuco.
He is within a
He's
second.
right there.
Oh, this is going to be
striking
dicey.
distance. That is striking distance for sure. He can still win this race. I thought when he took that pit stop, there's no way. This might have actually been calculated from the jump, to be honest. As now he sets a purple sector after having overtaken to start the lap. He did burn a lot of overtake to get that move done, but it was crucial that he did so in that fashion, because if he had to wait even just another lap behind Whiteout, that might have cost him.
Maybe we will see, but now they're on equal overtake, but Illusion is on a much better tire at this stage, and now, I mean, the strategy here from Illusion is definitely paid off dividends, as now he's going to try to catch up to Nuco, trying to close in the gap. That gap is shrinking bit by bit. It's like an iceberg or an ice cube in the middle of the sun, just slowly melting away, as Illusion, in this case, the sun, getting really, really close to
A little
Nuco
bit
up
too
front.
much of a gap maybe here on this occasion. Maybe burning a little bit of overtake. So with those last two cars, he caught them right at the perfect spot. On this occasion, just a little bit too much of a gap as they exit Parabolica, but now he's right on the tail, pushing him through the exit of that. That's where he's going to have all the advantage with these tires, is through tight, medium speed corners where you have to put the traction down on the acceleration in the exit. That's where he's gaining all the advantage. This corner is going to be an advantage too. He's got the good line, and he's got the lead of this race.
Wow. Incredible stuff. Illusion in the lead of the Italian Grand Prix. Here at Monza, we thought for a moment that he threw the race win away, but the strategy call and the overtake has definitely done it. Nuco out of overtake. Whiteout out of overtake. Viper still got a little bit of overtake, but he's about 5 seconds back off Illusion. Illusion has pulled off a strategic masterclass.
Absolutely.
But he's got still another 4 laps to go. Once he crosses that line, all he's got to do now is just not mess it up. He's got the opportunity.
His tires are in great shape.
Yeah, his tires are in a good shape, so he's got this locked in. He has all the recipes for a race win here. He's got all the spices. He's got all the ingredients. He's got everything you need. And he's got the perfect kitchen to do it too, with that beautiful looking EXO AMR machine. But he just cannot set the kitchen on fire. That's all he's got to do. He just has to not take off Gordon Ramsay.
Exactly, and when you're a chef in the kitchen, a master chef like Illusion, you're probably not going to start a random fire here, especially with really confident brand new soft tires. I mean, we see these guys looking really planted and confident on terrible tires by the end of these races most of the time, but he's on great tires. So it's not likely we're going to see, as he does wiggle a little bit, but it looked like a very under control wiggle there. And now he just has to kind of manage this gap. He doesn't even have to push too hard or try to pull away from Nuco like crazy here. I don't even think that's what he's going to try to do. Because realistically, Nuco, as long as he keeps him just outside of slipstream range, Nuco's not going to be able to fight him into these corners.
Yeah, I mean, Nuco, there's still a chance for Nuco to make it. I mean, we have seen crazier last lap pushes, but he's really on the back foot. He doesn't have the tires, really. He doesn't have any overtake. Illusion still has a very minor splash of overtake, like about a frame. He can use a little dash of overtake, but I mean, he's really in the best spot. He's got the best tires. He's got the softs. He's got 3 laps to go. 3 laps to go, and yeah, this is basically Illusion's to lose here, but I mean, it's a very good drive here, and it is going to reignite this championship battle here in WEC Season 7.
Yeah, and it's exactly like we were talking about in the middle of the race too, how we were saying there's always chaos in the beginning of the race because everyone's just so close, so inevitably it's chaos. And then as the race kind of opens up, the gaps start to stabilize and get bigger. that's really where the interesting bit of the race is actually taking place, because like we said, towards the end of the race, all of those strategy differences, the way they're trying to manage the car, it might not make sense to us right now in the moment while we're looking at it, but those strategies oftentimes will converge right at the end of the race, as we saw today with a strategic masterclass from Illusion. It looked like a great strategy had he been able to make those tires last, and then maybe he kind of blundered what would have been a great strategy. But this right here might have been the strategy all along, and if so, this was actually a really, really clever configuration of pit stops to put himself in this position he's in.
I mean, we knew that strategy was going to be a big factor. It always is in these WEC races. Not so much for the SWT races, but for the World Elite Championship, you need an elite level strategy to make the most of anything here at any of these races. So it's going to be a final dash across the line. We start the penultimate lap here with Luco, Illusion, and now Viper running up the top three.
Whoa.
Whiteout's just had
something happened to Whiteout.
He's got front wing damage.
Whiteout has front wing damage, now finds himself in P4 where he was in P3 before. And okay, so the car behind is just Ducky Dono, a back marker, so the gap's still 9 seconds to the car behind. He will probably just carry this front wing damage till the end of the race. No use pitting now, losing positions. Just go slow, bring the car home. But unfortunate, he's going to lose a little bit of points there, losing one additional position to Viper.
Speaking of Foxhound, Whiplash and Yuki are going to go out of here, trying to fight on their penultimate lap. And so they got a little bit of a battle going on here for P7. And it's been a tricky one. Whiplash tries to dive it up the inside, but just gets cut right off by Yuki there. Good defense there. He's on burnt out. Well, actually, they're both on burnt out tires. Yuki's got a little dash of overtake that he could use, but it's really not going to be enough to really mean a whole lot here. So it's going to be Whiplash trying to get it around just before the second of Variante. He'll have the inside line, but once again, it gets chopped off there by Yuki. Yuki does touch a little bit of the gravel on the corner exit. So it is going to be these two going to go side by side. Ooh, this is dicey stuff. Whiplash backs off, allows Yuki to retake the spot. As we check in, our race leaders have just started the final lap of the race here. Whiplash going to try to close in the gap here between these two. He's going to see what he can do. He's going to try to jump up. He's had a bit of a tough one. This has been a kind of a 50-50 race weekend for Foxhound. Didn't start off great, and it got better for Viper, just did not quite get better for Whiplash, as Yuki is going to try to hold on, but Whiplash, he's going to try. Oh, he has a big snap coming to Parabolica. Big snap between the two.
Huge.
And that is going to put...
I mean, props to him just to hold on to that, because he might have been facing the outside wall there for a second.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's probably going to put a massive bucket of ice-cold water on that battle. But making his way through the final stretches of the race here, we questioned it, and our questions were answered with mastery. Illusion is looking to take his second win of the season here. He won at Watkins Glen. He's going to win here in Monza. A off-the-wall strategy call that puts him ahead of them all. Illusion wins the Italian Grand Prix. And that is going to be Nuco P2 and Viper rounding out the podium here. Alex is closing in, though, a bit onto Whiteout here right at the end. But I think it's going to be too little too late for the German driver. Whiteout will make it 4 teams in the top 4. And then Alex will chase him down to the end, but it won't be enough. King will go and take P6. Whiplash did get past Yuki, though, in their battle for P7. King comes home P6. And then Whiplash is going to come home in 7th. Yuki in 8th. Rogue is going to be a lap down in 9th. Ducadono is already a lap down. We did lose someone. I don't know who we lost. We lost one driver at some points. Dennis is going to make his way to the line after May JP. They're both just going to try to continue on and they'll be the last 2 drivers to finish the Grand Prix. But your winner for the 2nd time this season in Grand Prestige League World Elite Championship Season 7 Round 5, it is the Viking. It is Lucian P1.
Yeah, it makes it 2 in a row as well. From 2 iconic tracks in a row, 2 of the original Formula 1 circuits back-to-back wins for Illusion. And that's really good to see, especially considering the way the season started. You know, on the back foot, especially in qualifying, but making it up like insanely here, and now 2 wins in a row with a point system that looks like this as well. That's going to be huge. He might even be if not, I'm not sure what the standings are, but he would definitely be right up there fighting for the Drivers' Championship now.
Exactly that. So we're going to go ahead and run through our championship, or not our championship order. Well, we're going to run through our race order here tonight. It is Lucian in the P1 ahead of Nuko, ahead of Viper, ahead of Whiteout, Alex, King, Whiplash, who did grab the fastest lap with a 1:26.315, and then Yuki rounding out the top 8. And then we have BJP, Dennis, Ducadono, Rogue, and Tallman, who did not finish the Grand Prix. So that's going to go ahead and wrap things up. And this is going to be another round in the books for the World Elite Championship. But next week, we'll be back here at the Temple of Speed for the Sprint World Tour. B23, any final thoughts before we send this one into the sunset?
Well, that was a very insane race. A very congratulations, first of all, to everyone who raced, because everyone at some point did something really, really well in that race. So good job to everybody, and I'm super looking forward to be on the track here next week as well. So if you guys want to see me on the track, you're definitely going to want to return here, and the best way to return here is to make sure you're subscribed to this YouTube channel, and you could also follow us on Instagram at Grand Prestige League. We post results graphics, we post race briefings as well, so you can know exactly what to expect from the upcoming rounds, and we will be there. Look forward to seeing you guys.
Exactly that. So that's going to wrap things up here at the Grand Prestige League. Thank you guys so much for putting up. We did have some issues in the beginning, a bit of a late start and also a tech issue with a stream restart, but in the end we had a good time here in Italy at the home of the Tifosi. And tune in next week when the Sprint World Tour takes us back to the Temple of Speed. It'll be likely myself and Rogue in the commentary booth for next round. It'll be at the same time, same place here at the Grand Prestige League YouTube channel. Drop a like, subscribe, turn on post notifications. The poll app will also be uploaded, I think, some point today. But yeah, that's going to go ahead and wrap things up. Stay hydrated. Check out our sponsor, W.GG. Use promo code GPL for a 10% discount. And we will see you guys next week. Have a good night.